Guys, how's it going? Patrick, Conservative Rap, and in this video we are going to talk about The Art of the Deal. It's a book Trump wrote way back in the day. I suggest you read it. We are now seeing the long-term, macroscopic, global economic effects of it, and it's really fascinating. I'm going to quote from a little bit here, and we're going to get into some more modern-day equivalents on the geopolitical stage. So let's take a quick look. Check this. My people keep telling me I shouldn't write letters to critics. The way I see it, critics get to say what they want about my work, so why shouldn't I be able to say what I want about theirs? And next, peep this. Leverage. Don't make deals without it. All right, gonna keep moving forward. Let's take a quick look. Sometimes by losing a battle, you find a new way to win the war. What you need generally is enough time and a little luck. I had both. And lastly, the only people bullies push around are the ones they know they can't beat. Or sorry, excuse me. The only people bullies push around are the ones they know they can beat. Confront a strong, competent person and he'll fight back harder than ever. Confront a bully and in most cases he'll fold like a deck of cards. So on X, I don't know if you saw this, but there's a quote from Trump about 2014, I think it was, over 11 years ago. He says, "Deals are my art form. Other people paint beautifully or write poetry. I like making deals, preferably big deals. That's how I get my kicks." And Green Lives Matter put this out on X. Props to Green Lives for the follow. This is a must-watch clip. Trump is following through on exactly what he said he would do with China on manufacturing and tariffs all the way back in 2011. He claimed that if China didn't play along with his plan, it would be better for the United States because manufacturing would soar once again for the American people. This is back in 2011. It's actually all happening. What a time to be alive. And he's quoting, "It's very hard to buy anything outside of China. What can you do? So easy. I'd drop a 25% tax on China. Listen, we're going to tax you 25%. This is unthinkable. In 2016, and that's like in 4 years, this is Trump talking in 2011, China's going to eclipse the United States as a great economic power. We're going to be in second. And if you would have said that 10 years ago, people would have laughed at you. They would have laughed. So China's going to eclipse us in 4 years. But under the Trump doctrine, that doesn't happen. You know why? Because we're going to start making our own products. We're not going to let them be made in China. You know, when you go to China and you want to sell stuff there, they make you build a plant and they take all of your technology and they pirate everything you have. Look at the deal that General Electric made. They gave up all this high technology and it's unbelievable. So under the Trump doctrine, it doesn't work that way. It's, fellas, listen, we love you very much, but you want to sell to us? You build your plant in Alabama. You build your plant in Nevada. The other thing is we make a much better product here, but you can't compete price-wise because of the manipulation. So one of two things is going to happen, and I hope it's the second. The first is they stop screwing around, but the second is they don't. So here's what happens. About 60% of their sales will stop. We'll increase the hell out of employment. We'll start building. You have thousands of these places. Once you do, so they'll say behave. But if they don't behave, that's better for us because we're going to start building our own plants. And we'll tell Apple and we'll tell all these other companies, you got to build your own factories. I'm sorry, but you can't make it over there. You got to put your own people to work. So I'll take this and I'll go one step further. It can happen so fast. So I think it's fascinating back in 2011. And even if you read some of Art of the Deal, I was looking for the quote. Unfortunately, I was unable to find it. There's a section where he talks about the United States specifically and how he would love to be in charge of the deal making that is international economics and trade. And here we are. I meme, therefore I am on X put this out. The stock market is not the economy. This is for anyone thinking, you know, the bad numbers they're seeing in the stock market are somehow indicative of where we're going as a country. All right, so the stock market is not the economy. The richest 0.1% own 17% of stocks. The richest 1% own 50% of stocks. It's the bottom 50% that own 0.7% of stocks. So repeat after me. The stock market is not the economy. And props to Robert Reich, who was able to put that out. Unusual Whales also put this out on X. The world's 500 richest people lost $500 billion this week. which is the largest ever recorded by Bloomberg. The only person who made money, Warren Buffett. So I think it's ironic, on the left, the Democratic ideal is taxing the rich. Here we have this refinancing and this re-strategization of American economics affecting primarily and solely the wealthiest. And somehow we're supposed to be upset about that. It's fascinating to me. Clandestine on X. So much winning right now. Again, art of the deal. Think about this. Tulsi and her new DIG task force are digging for proof of intent to prosecute bad actors in the IC. RFK Jr. is exposing the rise in autism and tackling the health crisis. Cash, Bongino, Bondi are rounding up violent criminals, and teams are working to review the Epstein files. Trump and Bessent are restructuring the global trade system, and nations are lining up to make new trade deals. Elon and Doge are consistently digging, exposing, and cutting government waste. Obviously, there's still plenty of work ahead, and we need to stay vigilant. We need to stay on top of this stuff to make sure we really gut it out. I think even Trump said during his first term, really we need 2 terms of this America First agenda to obliterate the deep state, get them to a point where it'll be at least another 2 centuries or so before they rear their, the vestiges of their poisonous heads back from underground. Again, obviously there's plenty of still work to do, but our objectives are nowhere near complete. But Trump's administration is in place and they're starting to fire on all cylinders. The ball is rolling and it's picking up steam. Lastly, from Clandestine and X, just a recap of what I found interesting. For those pushing the narrative that Trump caved regarding the 90-day pause on tariffs, you're mistaken. Trump implemented the tariffs to prove to the world that he's willing to do it, adding validity to his threats, granting him all the leverage in negotiations and creating urgency. Check the psychology here. Now that 75 plus nations have shown that they're motivated to make a deal, Trump can take them down 10% for 90 days and give all those nations time to negotiate a new trade deal in good faith. But they know in the back of their mind that if they don't reach a fair and reasonable deal within the timely fashion, the tariffs are going back up. And they know that Trump is not afraid to go through with it because they just watched him do it. Trump is showing the world that he means business, and he's giving them an opportunity to capitulate. He's proven to the world that he holds all the cards and he's willing to use them. I mean, he's the president of America. The fact that it took this long for one man to stand up and represent us with the proper leverage that we have on the global stage, it's really fascinating. But again, every once in a while, the lion has to show the jackals who he is. So again, art of the deal. I think it was Eric Trump, his son, who said, I've seen this scenario play out thousands of times through my life, and I know where it ends. So again, we're on a high octane path. This is a high octane read. I really suggest reading it. And you can see the fundamental psychology. It hasn't changed over the last 3 decades. I'm really happy to see it play out on the world stage now. Look forward to more news recaps and financial news later this week. Check me out on TikTok and Instagram for the rhymes, and feel free to comment below with your thoughts. Thanks and take care.